You are listening to All Burgundy and Gold, everything with the Urban Sports Scene on Fox Sports Radio 96.9 FM and 1340 AM. Hopewell, Virginia. Wole, Glen, and Mo are your hosts. Ray is out right now. We have former Washington Redskins. I could use that because back in the day with the Redskins. Running back and Super Bowl champ, Ricky Ervins, on the show. What's going on, Ricky?
I prefer you use that.
I know.
Because I'm constantly saying that all the time. So
for Ricky, for you, for this show, from when you played, we're going to use Redskins for this show.
Please.
All right, for this show.
How you guys doing today?
Doing well, man. Doing fine.
So, Ricky, what's been going on with you?
Nothing, man. Just training folks, my business. And I don't watch much football. Because I know when Donna asked me, I was on the air with B. Mitch, and they wanted to know about Drake. I said, when USC is doing bad, I don't watch them. I tape the game. This is no lie. I would tape the game, and then I would find out later if they won. I go back and watch the game.
Got you.
If they lost, I delete it. I didn't do it. I'm tired of watching that type of play. You put that product on the field, I ain't trying to see it. I think this year's going to be a lot different, though, man. So
So we'll talk about that a little bit. Since you have Lincoln Riley's the new coach, right?
Right.
Yeah. So are you excited that he's the new coach?
Excited. Shit, that's the best thing since Curl. Best thing since Curl. You know what I mean? That's Curl 2.0. Man, I'm just hoping. I mean, that the hire's great, but again, when you're at USC, you got to be able to track those guys that's leaving the state, going to the Alabamas and all the SEC schools. You got to keep those guys that we used to back in the state. And I'm hoping that he'll be able to do that this year or even next year.
Definitely. Also, hey, subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, and Google Podcasts. Just search All Burgundy and Go Errrything with the Urban Sports Scene. Also, tweet us at Urban Sports Scene. Hit us up on IG at Urban Sports Scene and 1340 AM Fox Sports. Fox Sports like our Urban Sports Scene and Fox Sports Radio 96.9 FM and 1340 AM Facebook pages as well. Make sure you subscribe to Fox Sports Radio 96.9 FM, 1340 AM, Hopewell, Virginia, and the Urban Sports Scene YouTube channels. Like I mentioned, as you can hear we're talking about, Ricky went to USC. We wanted to get you know what I'm saying? I know my brother's a big USC fan, so I'm gonna definitely have him listen to the show. He was a big fan of you when Washington drafted you, because he was like, "Oh, yeah, USC, Ricky Ervins."
How is that possible? Because we on the West Coast. He
loves, man, the first. So he saw it's you, Keish. He just loved Rob Johnson, Keyshawn Johnson. He loves USC. Like just the games that were on ABC when we were younger. So when y'all were on TV, he was boosted. He fell in love with USC. Man. You know what I mean?
That's cool.
All right. So, you've probably seen Drake. So a little bit about what does he bring to the table for Washington? Like, what does he bring to the table Washington draft?
I tell you what, if they draft him, he's going to be a great asset, a compliment for number 17. For one, I didn't know that he played basketball until I did a research on him. And that explains how he plays. Because every time when I did watch him, he'll go up on top of the guy, catch the ball. He has deceptive speed, but he can, if he need to go get past somebody, he can go do that. You won't probably see that. It won't reflect on a straight line when somebody's timing him. But when he got to go for a ball, he go get it. To me, he's a game player. He just go out there and play. He's like a Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice ain't going to fool you with no speed. But once he get on that field, he's faster than everybody else. And that's how this guy seems to me.
So you mentioned that the fit is going to be great. So how you mentioned him complimenting Terry McLaurin? How does he compliment him in the passing game?
You can't double team 17 no more, because 17 is a night. If we had a quarterback, that boy would be up there right now every single year, one of the top receivers, hands down. If we had a quarterback like just one of the AFC teams, somebody from there over here, we're gonna be nice. But again, you're gonna have to they're gonna find out real quick. If we get him, if you stick one person on him, it's not gonna do the job. You're gonna need about two guys on Drake, because Drake can go. Drake can play, he could jump, he could do, and he's a big dude. He could body you up, and that's what he does, especially when he was on that red zone. He bodies people up like he's playing, down low. Just throw it up.
I can tell you used to be a hooper because you got hooper.
Nah, I can act like it though.
Yeah, I know. You got the little. I see you with the headset. So
I can come in the gym. Hold up, I can come in the gym, dressed to a T. I got the walk and everything. Oh, we got him. I can't play a lick. I wish I could.
So I'm vibing what you're saying about Drake because my brother told me the same thing as well. But in terms for this team has had smaller receivers. So and other than like Cam Sims or whatnot. It sounds like you think Drake would be the perfect fit for this wide receiver core because he'd be different from what they have around. Yeah.
For this time of day.
Yeah.
Or you have a number of brick receivers. Listen, you guys see me on the sideline, and I'm just always. I'm enamored by the size of all these players. It's like, how did he get so darn big? And for one, when I saw Megatron, I couldn't blow my mind. I said, how does he get tackled? How does a DB tackle this dude when you this big? That's unfair. And so this guy, Drake, being what, 6'4", 6'5", 210, 220. Yeah. It's gonna be serious, man. You're gonna have to bring your lunch pack, your lunch to tackle him. Because he don't go down, as you saw some of the highlights, he don't go down quick.
We don't.
He's a rough dude. He's a baller. So I'm excited. I'm hoping they do get him because that's going to help our quarterback out, which I'm not really. You got to show me something.
Okay.
And the first year, yeah, we saw some things, but he's been hurt. He's pretty much like damaged goods. So what can you do now? Because if your man who drafted you, who got rid of you in Indianapolis, dude, you got to show me something.
I agree.
Well, you deserve to be here.
I agree that that's a problem in its own way, in its own right.
Yeah,
hey, Mo,
that's a big problem.
Yeah, Mo.
I think he answered my question. I've been hearing the reports that he couldn't separate, but when I watched it, I thought he could separate. I think the guy reminds me a little bit of Brandon Marshall type game. I see that he's a little
like Mike Evans. I've heard some Mike Evans stuff.
I think Mike Evans separates a lot more than Drake. Okay. When I think of Brandon Marshall, I think of tight quarters, right? I'm not thinking about the 240. I'm thinking about the tight quarters, the contested catches. I'm thinking about the run after the catch, right? So I saw a lot of that in there. But this kid can actually sit in the chair when it comes to break and run, stopping on a dime. Like his routes are very professional grade if you look at it. And I know that USC has always played a pro style offense and kind of stuff like that. So I guess that guy has something to go with it. Or you can compare him to the guy that came right before him.
Pittman.
Yeah, I think he's a more aggressive Michael Pittman.
And keep in mind as well, you're not going to have that Tyreek guy all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
That's just one in the millions you meet. But this guy, again, he can. All you need to do when you in the NFL, it's always tight quarters. That window, that sharp window that you got to get that ball in, and he's that dude because he's a big body. And he goes and get the ball.
He puts his body in between him and the defender.
So he knows how to do that because of basketball.
So Ricky, I'll give you one last question. Again, you won Super Bowl 26. Team was a great team. My favorite football team of all time, to be honest with you. How, when you look at this team, what is this team missing just to even get close to that level? Don't do that.
How much time do we have?
Don't do that, Ricky. Don't do that. Don't do that, Ricky.
Listen, I tell you what, they have right now a good foundation of that defense. The defensive line is a start. We got to get a better secondary linebackers, but that defensive line has the makers of making everybody else great. Just the way they play. But for us to go to that next level, we need a 10-year quarterback. We need, just like I said, another receiver on that other side that's going to complement number 17, McLaren. I believe we have the running backs. Those guys, man, 41. See, I call everybody by the number because that's all I see.
Yeah, I know. That's how you say it. Yeah, I know.
The inspector is 41. And I think 20, is it 24?
Yeah, 24, Gibson.
Yeah. 24. I mean, they can ball. I like the way they play. And it's just like, if we can get one more guy And I'm hoping that could be number 32, which I love. I like him because he kind of reminds me of me. Just be in the rotation.
Patterson.
Yeah, Patterson.
Right.
Because nowadays we can't be like in the older days how you got like an Emmitt Smith going every single play.
Yeah.
You got to mix it up.
Hey, Ricky, my bad. I have one question for you. You mentioned the running backs. How would you help Antonio Gibson with his fumbling issue that he has in the past for the Washington football team?
We did in high school. I know I'm going way back. Every time you fumble, you had to carry that ball all the way, all day during class, during the whole week. And if he got to get used to holding that ball, and just constantly if somebody hit it out your hand at school, you in trouble. So you constantly gripping that ball the whole time. So he going to start doing something like that, where he just walking around his house with a football. He walking to the store with a football. Wherever he go, he got that in his hand, holding it tight, just to get used to it.
The thing across his chest like Tiki Barber.
Dude, because you can't do that, man. You cannot fumble. That is the worst thing to do. It was funny. I coached track over at Fruit Hill, the sprinters. And we dropped the baton. My guy second lane to third. And man, you talking about me want to go over there? That's like dropping football. I said, that's like fumbling. You cannot do that. So, but yeah,
that's number one.
Yes, yeah.
What would Coach Gibbs do to a back who fumbled that many times?
Oh, he wouldn't play.
Okay, see, there's a difference. There's the see.
You on the sideline? No fumble.
See,
now, especially if you're young and you fumble the ball with Coach Gibbs, it's like, that was your shot. You're going there for a long time.
Okay.
Depending on how he feel, I believe.
So you would say a championship coach is a little different from what you see now, right?
Yeah. You can't be doing. You cannot fumble. You might be allowed one fumble. Like, okay, how did he do it? Did he get hit? Did he go in there tight, or if he was he careless? And if he was going there, just like this, both hands on it, you get another shot. But if that happen again, we don't trust you, son.
Oh man. Well, Ricky, man, thanks for being on. Before I let you go, is there anything you would like to add? You want to drop? You want to talk about your other businesses or whatnot? You're free. Feel free to do it, man.
I'm good, man. I got clients. They on the treadmill right now, so I got to get with them. But no, I'm good, man. But anytime, y'all just let me know. I love doing this, man. Right. It's just I thought we was gonna be on the phone. I didn't know it was gonna be Zoom.
Can I ask one last question? Do you see a running back getting drafted in this draft for this team? You have everything
that brings somebody in, probably free agent down the line. But what we need is our linemen and DBs. Yeah, like I said, I'm front four in that defensive line. They're gonna do some things. They big time. I don't know what we have in linebackers. Did we get rid of some linebackers? Because I don't. This time of year, I really don't pay attention.
They don't. They don't have. They need linebackers. I don't even want to say got rid, because whoever they got rid of ain't really doing anything anyway. So they need linebackers. So they drafted young boy last year that Rivera, Rivera kind of had issues with. I mean, he had issues with, but he struggled. Supposedly the young boy struggled. I mean, I think he has potential, but he struggled. The only good linebacker they have, is Holcomb, who played well enough.
What number is
that? That's 55. Yeah. 55. Only one who quite, and the rest struggle.
Yeah. They need some linebackers.
They need linebackers. You know what I'm talking about? Like, they need linebackers, but they kind of are. My issue with that before, man, I don't want to hold you for that long. My issue with that is you said they need a linebacker. I agree they need linebackers, but Rivera seems to think that they don't need it as much.
He's a former linebacker.
Everybody got their own opinion. Everybody got eyes that they see, and they see differently. So
So I don't want to act all negative. I'm just saying he feels they don't need it as much. They think they can move 55 the middle and have the young boy play him outside, and they just get another outside linebacker. So
I understand his philosophy, because he figured that his front four is going to handle and command double teams, and all Holcomb has to do is tackle. That's his philosophy.
If the front four doesn't,
it remains to be seen.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
All right, Ricky, man, appreciate you being on, my man.
I appreciate you guys, man. Thank you so much. You guys have a beautiful day.
Thanks, man. Take care. All right.
Thanks. Take care, man.
The next generation together, man.
All right. Again, that was Ricky Ervins. Ricky's awesome, man. Ricky's one of the all-time. Well, it's one of my all-time my brother's all-time favorite running backs. Actually, one of my all-time favorite running backs because he at that time when I was a kid, like Ernest Minor was dope, but really like he had the home run ability. Like he could just take that thing to the house. You know what I mean? So it's always good to have a dude back in the day when I used to watch this squad and when they were successful, when they were really successful.
But before we go, Wole, draft is Thursday.
Yeah, it's Thursday.
You guys got to tell me.
Oh, I think it's going. I mean, ideally, like I would like. So I've kind of warmed up to this. At first, I wanted like
pick.
Drake. I wanted Drake London at first.
Select.
I wanted Drake London. I ain't gonna lie. I'm warming up to old boy from Alabama who got hurt. I'll wait it out. Oh man, I think that's a dude. Automatically, you can wait. You can wait it. Like you can wait it because if you telling me it's an ACL injury, so nowadays you can kind of bounce back. As a young boy, I'm not gonna say force him to play this year, but the following year, you got one. If you got one, like you got one of them. And he went. I mean, this is a kid who went to Ohio State and Alabama, so you already know 11, he can go.
But if you had 11, why would I want to wait a year when this?
It don't matter. I mean,
it's deep. This wide receiver class is deep, man.
It is, but when you got one, I mean, then what's 1 year to 2? Like, what's the difference between 1 to 2? I mean, in terms of
you want to win now, you
1 to 2 gonna get
playing for coaching.
No, but I get what you're saying. But what happens if he's the best wide receiver in the class? Like, what are you really mad about? Like, if he's the best wide receiver, then he's the best wide receiver.
If he's best on the board, I take him. If he's on the board, yes, you take him. But if he's not on the board,
you got guys here that may not be around to see him.
Well, that's you can't draft. If you the G, that's why the GM should be drafting, not the coach. That's what my issue is like with him. Is like you draft to build your team. I'm like everybody knows I'm about the best player available. So whoever the best player available on the board is, like truth be told, I mean I want kid from Notre Dame. If you put it, like I take him. That's who I want. But I've warmed up. At first I thought I'm like you heard me. I said Olave. Like I like Olave. Like people starting to warm up to him. I like Olave. But when I'm starting to think about it, like one, I like pedigree. Like kid from Bama got pedigree from Bama. Bama's receivers do produce in the league. They do well in the league.
And he was the one for them.
He was the one for Bama. He was the one. Secondly, he's a kid. He was an OSU first before he went to Bama. If you know OSU, they do produce good receivers too.
Oh yeah.
So that lets you know already his pedigree is real. As a Bama, and you see the squad. This squad likes Ohio State and they love Alabama. What they draft. They love drafting players from those schools. So.
But see, funny thing about that though, and I know we got to run. Yeah. Alabama and Ohio State players know how to win. That's the problem. Yeah. They know how to win, and they're not used to losing.
And that hurts here. They get mad over here.
And they get mad over here, and that's what he has to get to. He has to get back to the winning culture.
But I do think this is like I know Mo wants us to have a direct pick, a direct pick. So Mo, I'm gonna say, but from what I'm gonna say, my field is Hamilton. That's my field. My field ain't gonna do Hamilton.
Mine's Olave or London or Drake.
My only issue with Olave is I don't want to say Smurf at receiver. Right.
Yeah, I think something different. I think that's what they want.
At receiver. I think that's what this organization has done.
Yeah.
Right? And you still got Samuel's got to get on the field next year. So you already got 2 5'10", 5'11" guys. Right.
Yeah.
I get the speed element, but like I need somebody who's gonna be a little bit more dynamic. If I'm going with the Smurf of sorts, I'm not gonna say he's a Smurf. I'm gonna go with the other kid from Ohio State.
You want Garrett?
He might not
Garrett, yeah.
Garrett Wilson.
He plays up here. He plays in space up here.
Yeah. My only issue with him is that like I like producers on. I mean, he's talented. I like producers on Saturdays, dude. Yeah, like I need you to do. Olave's done it multiple years for Ohio State. That's why everybody gets fascinated. I'm like, yeah.
With Olave coming back, you don't think it's some pause for concern that Olave came back and this kid was the number one?
But he's still like this kid's. I mean, Olave's stats were still better than Wilson's last year.
Yeah.
Look at the stats.
Yeah, but they also the heavy running game as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, so, I mean, you gotta produce. You gotta produce. I mean, but I like Garrett Wilson has what he got the shakes. He has that playmaking ability. People get like kind of in love with. You know what I'm saying? Like I got players that I loved in the past that had that type of ability and didn't pan out in the NFL. Like I love Peter Ward with a passion.
That's injury though. Injury stuff.
I know, but you know what I'm saying. But you know what I'm saying, right? But you know what I'm saying though, right? They just don't.
See, People love the extra because they feel like if the quarterback play is not where it needs to be,
then they're gonna create more for him. Right? Like I heard somebody literally compare Garrett Garrett Wilson, I mean, then we're going to leave some. Garrett Wilson to Jamar Chase, they're not the same.
That's not the same.
They're not the same, bro. They're not the same.
But you also got to
different. The physicality
it's just not the same, bro.
But I think we've talked about receivers. The biggest underlying thing is Ricky said it a little bit too. We got to look at who's throwing in the football this year. What works well for him?
Yeah.
Because we don't know if he's going to be here long term. Carson is in the audition. He only has 1 year left on the contract, so we don't know if he's going to be here long term or if he's going to be here 1 year. So you're looking at for the here and now. You have to be able to have a running game and a receiver. London is a big guy because
that's the one. See, that's the thing.
He go get the ball. If you
want
to go here
and if you look, and then you looking at reports, that's what that you're hearing that London is starting to like the team is starting to have like they're looking at London a little harder and they're liking him a lot. Is that thing that Glen just stated is Carson Wentz, Carson Wentz loving taller receivers. He played with Pittman and with the Colts and had success with Pittman. Now here, another big receiver, so it looks like it can work. But anyway, subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, and Google Podcasts. Search All Burgundy and Go Errrything with the Urban Sports Scene. Also tweet us at Urban Sports Scene and hit us up on IG at Urban Sports Scene and at 1340 AM Fox Sports. Like our Urban Sports Scene and Fox Sports Radio 96.9 FM and 1340 AM Hopewell, Virginia Facebook pages. Make sure you subscribe to the Fox Sports Radio 96.9 FM and 1340 AM and Urban Sports and YouTube channels as well. Hey, it's been a dope show. You've been listening to All Burgundy and Go Errrything with the Urban Sports Team on Fox Sports Radio 96.9 FM and 1340 AM. Hopewell, Virginia for ages. You dig? Deuces. Hey, Mega, lead us out, big homie.
Peace.